welcome to our first episode of Door Talk. I'm your host, Robert Warren, President of Warren Doors and Access Control. Joining me on the show today are Matt Gaines, licensed electrical contractor, Austin Watson, DHT and Access Control Specialist, Nathan Delkamp, certified locksmith, and Nicole Scherger, our Door Talk correspondent. So what is Door Talk? Door Talk is a weekly program dedicated to all things doors, frames, and hardware, as well as access control and specialties, also referred to as Division 8, 10, and 28. We will be exploring the most important topics of the security and safety industry while bringing in experts to provide us with the latest and greatest information about new products and solutions, building codes, and construction best practices. This program is something new for us, and we hope that you will find our content useful and entertaining, and we very much want your input and feedback about how to make it better. While Door Talk is being produced by Warren Doors and Access Control, we welcome everyone in the industry to participate. Much in the spirit of DHI, CSI, and other associations that bring experienced professionals together, and sometimes competitors, our desire is to benefit our industry by educating our customers and promoting our services to all. So let's get started. On the show today, we'll be highlighting tips and tricks on cleaning door hardware. We'll have a panel discussion on touchless products and also announce our monthly giveaway. Finally, we'll take a look ahead to upcoming features and what's more to come on Door Talk. But first, Nicole, what is the report around the industry this week?
Thank you, Robert. With the focus the past few months on COVID-19, we've all changed the way we work and communicate, as many of us are working remotely and taking extra precautions to keep everyone safe on site. Depending on your location, we've seen varying impacts to operations and are doing the best we can to adapt to an ever-changing situation. Manufacturers and industry associations continue to have webinars and online discussions about doing business in this uncertain market. Some upcoming events you can participate in are listed here as well as on our website at doortalk.com. Please let us know about future events you would like us to highlight. With a renewed focus on touchless solutions and maintaining clean facilities, there's a lot we can learn and offer to our customers. Also, if you have news to share or would like to be a guest on our show, please send us an email to info@doortalk.com and we'll be sure to review and include in future videos. We're excited about what's going on around the industry, so tune in next week for the latest news. Now let's see what Nathan and Austin have for us this week for our tips and tricks demonstration.
Thanks, Nicole. Welcome to Tips and Tricks. My name is Austin, and this is Nathan Delkamp. Nathan, how many years of locksmith experience do you have?
26 years.
26 years. Well, today, Nathan, we're talking about how to clean and properly maintain your door hardware. Nathan, can you give us some tips on that today?
Yes, so a mild detergent and water. Complete wipe down of every part of your hardware. Then a water only wipe down to get any residual bit of detergent off. Then dry. And that'll give you a complete clean hardware.
So now, Nathan, what's the next step you would take after cleaning your hardware?
So after cleaning your hardware, a good disinfectant to get any remaining germs off would be an excellent process. Again, just a quick, complete wipe down. And the most important part is to let it air dry. Do not wipe down with any other rags or anything to get anything off. Just, you're good to go.
So Nathan, cleaning and disinfecting the hardware, is there a particular order that you say we should go in?
Yes, totally clean first. Get any dirt, grime, debris off the device, and then apply your disinfectant to get any remaining bacteria off and thoroughly clean.
Now, is there a certain type of disinfectant that we should use?
Any approved manufacturer disinfectant as a disinfectant wipe. Never use any bleach or any harsh materials, as it will affect your finish on your product.
So Nathan, outside of cleaning and disinfecting door hardware, how can we properly maintain our door hardware to keep it working effectively?
Any over-the-counter spray lubricant would work wonders. Just spray any moving parts, wipe off any overspray, and you're good to go for a very long time.
Well, Nathan, thanks for joining us today on Tips and Tricks, and have a great day.
Hey guys, welcome to today's panel discussion. I'm Matt Gaines, this is Austin Watson. You guys just saw him and Nathan do an incredible job on tips and tricks, but we're going to get right into today's panel discussion, which is touchless products. So Austin, tell me what touchless products are.
So Matt, touchless products are basically anything that you don't have to touch or use your hands to gain access to a building. So, anything as in, contactless pulls, foot or arm pulls, automatic operators, wireless credentials, or even touchless buttons or motion activation sensors.
Okay, so let me ask you this. I heard what you said, what they are, what some possible examples can be, but what are the benefits and why do we need touchless products?
The reason why we need touchless products is to be able to maintain a proper hygiene, because right now, with the world we're in right now with COVID and everything else, I think everybody's paying more close attention to hygiene, okay. Especially because when you don't have to actually touch things with your hands, that prevents the spread of bacteria and things of that nature that pass on sicknesses and illnesses.
Right. Okay. So with the mindset of trying to reduce the spread of bacteria, germs, as an option, what if we move that aside for just a moment? What are some other benefits of touchless products?
Well, one big one is ADA and with automatic operators.
So what is ADA? You say that term. What is ADA?
ADA is the American Disabilities Act. It's basically a set of codes and standards set to be able to assist people who have disabilities to make sure that other people are held to that standard to be able to help them be able to gain entrance and access into buildings easily and safely.
And I guess that's important because I've had relatives that have been in wheelchairs, whether it be for disabilities or injuries even, and if they're going up to a door and tugging on a door and they can't get in, that's something that is not easy to deal with. Yeah. if you're having to deal with some kind of disability or anything. So you talked about automatic operators. How can automatic operators tie into touchless products and help with that ADA compliance?
So automatic operators that's the best way to be able to help with that situation, because automatic operators are actually they assist the door to open, or they do open the door. That's what they do. And there's about 3 different areas that I like to put in automatic operators in. The types is sliding glass doors or sliding operators, which are the ones you see most commonly at supermarkets, Walmarts.
Yeah, big retailers, department stores, stuff like that. What are some other ones?
The bifold doors, which you see here and there, they're not too common anymore.
Especially in the Panhandle of Florida, you don't see bifold doors a whole lot anymore.
No. And then you have your swinging doors, your swinging automatic operators, which are most commonly used on your retrofitting of doors that didn't have them before.
Yeah, for example, in not to go back to COVID, but I'm sure a lot of people having to do medical testing, and if you've ever had had to go to a medical office building or a complex that was an orthopedic surgeon or something like that, they probably just had a smaller automatic operator, and that's where you see those swing door operators the most.
And And so most commonly when you have those, the swing door operators especially, you have a activation pad, which most of the time, I'm sure you've seen them at, this is
Are you talking about the big silver buttons and
big
square
silver
buttons? Yes.
With they normally have a blue person in a wheelchair on them. It's
Yeah.
a push here to open, and
I've seen
those you have to actually go up and you press with your hand, and you get entry into the building. It opens the door. Well, obviously the common issue with that is that now you have to touch it, and we're trying to get away from that. So in front of us here we have the touchless activation sensor.
I was going to ask you about these,
and they're really cool. They're pretty cost effective right now too, and literally all you have to do is just wave your hand in front of it. Green means go. It even makes a little sound for you to know. We have another one here that does the same thing, and there's multiple options out there. These are just two that we had here in stock, and the cool thing about these is that the most common thing I get asked is probably, if you walk in front of it, is it going to go off every time somebody walks by? Well, it depends on how you set it up. If you open it up, it has a little activation sensor in it that you can adjust to how far out you want it to go. So if you want to go to where you 1 inch to 10 inches, you can do that.
That's cool. So, well, and that seems like a very user-friendly option to replace those big square buttons. Because I know with my time in the field, I spent some time in the field as a technician, we commonly were having to replace those big metal square or round buttons because what did people do? They didn't want to touch them, so they kicked them.
Yeah.
Like, no joke. I know you've seen it too, Austin, with your time in the field. And, when somebody kicks one of those buttons, it damages the buttons, it damages the housing.
Yep.
In some cases, it would even damage the other things around it. And so, a no-touch request to exit is hopefully a great option for somebody out there. So, Austin, we talked about hospitals and larger businesses, but what about the small business owner? I know that they could put an automatic operator with a touchless product like this on the front of their building, but what are some other doors and rooms within inside the building that might benefit from the touchless product?
Well, other than the front entry door, I would definitely always suggest the bathrooms, because when you think of a restroom, you don't think that to be the cleanest place in your building, probably. And so if you're able to add an automatic operator and one of these buttons to it, or two of the buttons, you could actually just be able to wave your hand, the door's going to open and shut behind you, and you never have to really touch much in that whole facility.
Well, that's great. So, we've been talking about the benefits and why. So, let's talk about. We've already talked about one solution here, but what are some other solutions that we might have, and the common solutions that the everyday consumer could buy and purchase for touchless products?
It's definitely going to be the contactless pulls, as everybody would be able to get a hold of right now. They make them for foot and arm pulls right now, the ones that I've seen. And essentially what that does for you is it gives you the ability to be able to put it on the bottom of the door, and you would just use your foot to
kind of like the sole of your shoe.
Yeah.
I think I've seen those. Yes.
And you can actually just either pull open the door with your foot or close the door with your foot. You can do either one. The next one, basically, the one for your arm looks like a regular pull handle, but it's got a little notch at the top, so you can actually put your arm around it and just pull the door open with your arm instead of having to actually grab it with your hand. And
both of those would probably be a cost affordable way, or cost efficient way to have ADA, or not ADA compliance, but a touchless product, and have a way to pull the door open or push the door open. Correct?
Yes, and definitely most of these contactless pulls, either the foot or arm, check with your local jurisdiction about ADA compliance. A lot of them have not been passed yet, but keep checking on that.
Right. Okay, so we've already talked a little bit about automatic operators and the no touch request to exits or request to entry. So let's talk about something else that you mentioned, wireless credentials and Bluetooth credentials. Speak a little bit to that.
So most commonly with your access control systems, your card readers right now normally have either a keypad or they're a card reader RFID type of reader. And So with that, you see the problem with the keypad.
Yeah,
You have to-
you're
touch it.
constantly touching it. Yeah.
And obviously right now with the day and age we're in, we're trying to get away from that. The cool thing about the readers that we can get a hold of now is you can actually use what's called a mobile credential, which is a credential on your cell phone, which, let's be honest with you, 98% of all America has their cell phone on all the time. And so you pull your cell phone out, you can use that to gain entry into your building. Like I said, it's already something you have on you anyway, so
Why not use it?
Why not use it?
That's perfect. Okay, so wireless credentials, Bluetooth credentials, those are all options. There again, guys, you can find more of this on our website. We talked about ADA compliance. We talked about automatic operators. In that are also motion activation, which would be a possible solution, a PIR sensor, which you spoke a little bit to. So let's go on to something else, biometrics. Yep. So biometrics are a form of reader that's been out there, or a form of credential that's been out there. But here's the problem with biometrics. If you lay your hand on a hand scanner or put your thumbprint on a thumbprint scanner, I mean, it's not safe. So are there any options that are similar to biometrics that people could use as touchless products?
For sure. Right now, the big thing that's been coming out is facial recognition, and actually a new product that we've been testing and demoing is a facial reader. And what it does is actually a facial reader with temperature control detection and mass detection on it. And what it does is that you can just walk up to the reader, and I'm going to compare it. It looks similar to an iPad. And you walk up to it, and it literally within 0.3 seconds can recognize your face and determine whether or not what your temperature is, or if you have a mask on it. And so that lets you into the building without ever having to take anything out of your pocket, having to use your hands for anything. You literally just walk up to it, and that's it.
Wow, that's a pretty neat product. I can't wait to hear more on that. Well, guys, thank you for joining us today. Austin, thank you for being here.
Oh, yeah.
But before we go, without further ado, we got to talk about one more thing. The giveaway, the monthly giveaway. Austin, tell everybody what we're giving away this month.
This month, we're giving away a 4-channel camera system. Guys, it includes the 4 high-definition cameras, 1 DVR, and 4 pre-made 100-foot cables. Everything you need to get your home set up for home security surveillance.
That's awesome. So, Austin, tell them where they can go to find more information.
We'll put everything in the link and description below, but you can also go to our website, doortalk.com, and get more information there.
Yep. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thanks, Matt. Well, that's our show for today, but we're excited to announce we'll also be doing Tech Talk Tuesdays, starting with a 5-part series on access control solutions. So tune in on Tuesdays for some great product demos and informational segments, and again next Friday for another episode of Door Talk. In the weeks ahead, we'll also be discussing hurricane and severe weather products, fire door inspection and safety, dangers of barricade devices, how-tos of proper installation, and many more important topics. We hope that you tune in and let us know what we should highlight on future shows. Drop a comment on our YouTube channel and click the links to subscribe and watch more videos. You can also visit us on doortalk.com, social media, and listen to our podcast on Apple, Google, and all the popular directories. Thank you for watching Door Talk, and on behalf of our panel and guests, you stay safe and secure out there. See you next time.
I'm gonna set up. Yep.
Here we go.
Sorry. Okay.
Nathan did a great job with tips and tricks. It's a ticks.
Manufacturers and industry associations.
That's awesome.